Those things scared me to death. I was just getting ready to get my camera out to start the video that I'm going to make today, because I have a really good signal I want to show you guys, but they gave me a heart attack. I just walked past here. See, like this little path that goes up there. Apparently they're all just sitting up there waiting for me to go by, and they just jumped out. Those are Canada geese, a bunch of babies in with them. Oh yeah, gave me a heart attack. But enough about me. Here's what we're doing today. We're on a new adventure. This is a spot, this river, that I came to a long time ago, and right down at the base of that rock cliff right there, I found a beautiful 1816 $half American $half, and I've never been back. Now I did search around, I didn't find any more, but I've always wanted to come back here and I just never have. But today we're here. I've been searching for about half an hour, working my way downriver, finding a lot of junk like this. This is a stainless steel bolt that sounds really good, and that's a tire weight that probably somebody used for an anchor. Lots of iron. But I did dig this, which I think is a little flat button of some sort. It's got the shank on the back. It looks like the loop is broken off, but I'm pretty sure that's a flat button. So that could get us right down into the area that we want to be. And it's actually designed on it of some sort. It's almost like an eagle. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to head down to that cliff right there. We're going to search all along that. That's where I really want to search, to see if there's another coin or two, you know, out where I didn't hear it before. Again, this was probably 15 years ago. Probably not 20, but close to 15. Well, maybe 10. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. Before we get there, I wanted to show you this signal, because this is like the best signal of the day so far. I haven't dug it yet. Using the AT Max today. 0 program. I got the discrimination bumped up to about 7 or 7. Well, it is on 7 today. That just takes away a little bit of the small iron and some of the hot rocks that I go over. There's a lot of hot rocks in here. But you know, 0 maximum sensitivity. I got a signal right here. Sounds really good. It doesn't sound like it's big enough to be a can. So I'm hoping it's going to be something pretty decent. But let's go ahead and dig this together. I'm going to get the pinpoint out first. There it is. It could be a can because it, well, it's in my hand. What is it? It is a big chunk of brass. That is a brass bung hole screw top lid thingy. That would have gone onto some type of drum or something, and that's where a wrench would have taken it off. Don't know how old that is, but boy, it's a big hunk of brass. Could have been a large cent very easily. The same type of signal. All right, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to work our way down till we get to that cliff, and I'll get you back out. But if I get a good signal before then, I'll get you out before then. So I made it down to the cliff face. I didn't really find anything back behind me. There's a couple pieces of big iron in here. I know I found that coin was somewhere between like right in here up to where I'm standing. And I don't know if it's, maybe someone lost it when they were taking a flat boat down this river when it was higher. Because there's all kinds of iron furnaces and stuff up this creek. And they might have crashed into these rocks right here, and it might have come out of his pocket. Or there could have been some type of building back behind me that, you know, the banks eroded and it just came out of it. Who knows? But I do have my first signal here, and we're in a good Civil War area too, so don't be surprised if a bullet or two pops out. I thought we'll go ahead and dig this one together, even though it doesn't sound like a silver $half. But, you know, I should have dug that years ago when I was here looking for stuff. I don't have my knee pads today, so I'll have to use this rock to put my knees on, because that is really sharp. All right, let's dig this together. I just have to hold you if you don't mind. Shouldn't be too deep, so it's between these rocks here. Alright, so down into there. It's going to be right at the base, so right where these two rock ledges come together. Anything that's heavy, that's where it will settle during the floods. Yep. Getting closer. Oh. You can feel the V, so I've got to be almost to it. Alright. Trying to dig with my fingers right down to the very bottom of the V and get that dirt out of there. Not in it yet. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that dirt out. Pull it back like that. Hopefully we'll get it that way pretty quickly. If I had both hands free, I could do it a lot quicker. Actually, I don't... Yeah. Alright, let's try that. Alright, so it definitely moved. Hopefully you can see that okay. Alright, looks like a bullet, but a modern bullet with a copper jacket right there. That's a fired, when I say modern, it could be 100 years old, but that's a copper jacketed bullet, lead core. Sounds really good. That could have easily been a coin or something, like a large cent. That same type of signal. I want to show you this big old piece of iron before I leave it. I'm not sure what that thing is, but it's like a solid old piece of iron. It might be could be an old wheel rim or something, but I think it's really solid. Just dug a fishing weight just above where I dug that fired bullet. So there are some signals in here. There's nothing really old yet. So the big iron ring is, I got a big signal here and just dug it up. And I think it's pretty sure it's junk, but yeah, that's junk. I'm not sure what it is though. Really heavy. I'm gonna leave that one right there. Probably like 15-20 pounds at least. I'm not gonna carry that thing out. Gonna save it for the silver coins. Well, we finally got a fired bullet that could possibly be a Civil War era bullet. That looks almost like a Colt, doesn't it? I think it probably is. Sweet. A nice solid iron signal, and this is an electric iron for ironing clothes. Those electric cords hanging out the back. I'm gonna have to dig all this big iron like this because there was definitely some Civil War activity in the area, some artillery work, so it could easily be an artillery shell in here, although I've never found one. That's a nice solid iron signal, and this is an electric iron for ironing clothes. Those electric cords hanging out the back. I'm gonna have to dig all this big iron like this because with a cliff like that, because there was definitely some Civil War activity in the area, some artillery work, so it could easily be an artillery shell in here, although I've never found one or even a piece of one, but I've only been here I think exactly one time. So we're definitely going to dig all this big iron like this because Union Farmer could have pitched one in from the bank right here. A Civil War bullet! Yay! I'm not skunked today for sure. This is a probably dropped Civil War era Sharps bullet. Now it's really smooth because it was on these hard rocks, and these bullets don't really go very far, but in floods they can roll around. They might roll around on one of these little gullies, and that kind of smooths it out like it would if you threw it in your washing machine, which I have done by accident. And you know, they'll just roll along the bottom until they find a hole usually and just sit in the bottom of the hole, and it's really hard to wash them out of there. But yeah, genuine Civil War Sharps bullet. I do believe it's dropped. Oh, I'm excited now. I wonder if they could have thrown like stuff off that cliff, because there were camps all in this area. So I'm really excited about getting along this bank right here. Even though I've been here once before, but that was a long time ago. Here's a fired 22 caliber bullet. This is modern, but you can see the base and how much it's mushroomed. So someone was standing on that bank over there shooting across the river into these rocks, and probably hit that rock and just completely mushroomed, flipped up in the air and pushed right down there. Huh. Hardly worth mentioning, but I thought you guys might want to see what I'm digging. So I decided to climb up here on the bank for a little bit and just look around here since we found that drop bullet. I think I just found another one. Got it in my hand. Let's go ahead and wash it off. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Civil War, but man, I tell you, fell on that stuff, that would cut you to death, wouldn't it? It was dropped. Oh no. Well, that is a Civil War bullet that's been chewed like crazy. Those are all tooth marks in it. So some type of little animal got a hold of that thing and chewed it. Very small teeth though, so some type of little rodent like thing, probably a squirrel or a chipmunk. But yeah, that's what that is. Isn't that weird? Man, that thing's chewed up. It wasn't a baby beaver. Another little lead signal here, but you can actually see it. That's a fired modern bullet. Probably why I didn't spend a lot of time in this area last time, but pretty sure that's gonna be a modern bullet right there. No telling what they could have thrown off these cliffs right here too, because there's like fields and stuff up there. I see a bottle. I don't know if it's going to be an older one or not, but I thought we'd dig it together. Looks like maybe a little a Listerine bottle or something. I don't know how old that is. Yeah, it's a cute little brown bottle. It's not terribly old, but I think we'll save that one. I kind of like it. Hope you do too. I'm going to give you just a little chigger tip too before I put the bottle completely away. When you put these in a bag, if you're wading in the river, you put it in upside down, it stays full of air, okay? And that will actually work its way out of the bag and float away on you. You'll see it going down the river somewhere. So if you're going to carry bottles around, it's always better to go ahead and tip it up and fill it full of water, and then set it straight up and down. Because if it, even if you do fill up with water and just let it lay in there, as soon as you get out of the deep water, it'll drain. Then you go back in the deep water, the air pushes it up, and away it goes. I've had that happen 1,000 times. Well, not really 1,000, but you know, probably more than once. Good signal here. Sounds like another bullet. Thought we'd dig this together. It's right on top. Can't be very deep because there it is. Looky there. It's a bullet. This is awesome. I really didn't expect to find much in the way of bullets today, because I didn't find any the first time I came here. But that is definitely another drop bullet. Let's go wash it off. I think it needs a bath. So either soldiers were like hanging out on these rocks, maybe fishing when this was higher, or they came down off the top. It's really hard to say with these. If we start finding like fishing weights made out of bullets, and we'll know that they were down there fishing. Yeah, that's another one. Definitely a Civil War mini ball. Slight chance that could be fired. If you look right there, you can see two little parallel lines that could be part of some rifling. You know, rifling grooves cut in it, but I don't know. For right now, I'm going to call that dropped. I just dug a Civil War bullet and I showed it to you and put it in a bag, and I checked the hole and checked around a little bit. I want you to listen to what I'm hearing, because this is pretty exciting. That's where I dug the bullet, right there in that crack. I think there's another one that's 72, 78 right there. So I just kind of, I don't know, it might be more than one actually. I checked around. There's another signal, good, decent signal there. We've got to dig a little bit deeper. I don't know if it's going to be a bullet, but that's part of my pick. So we definitely got something there. So I think maybe two. Little something there. Heard something down in here. So that's another good signal right there. And I think there's one over here too, I heard. Oh. All right, that's a nice high signal right there. So there's at least 3 or 4 good bullet signals right in this area. Let's dig this one first. This actually sounds the best. All right, right there. I'm gonna set you up. I think it's a little deeper than my pinpointer will go. It might be closer to the detector too. Are you on? Yeah, it's on. All right, it's a little deeper than I thought it was, so I'm gonna have to turn you off and go find my pick. All right, so I moved you a little bit just to make sure that I wasn't hearing the camera. But it is right in here, but it's too deep for the pinpointer to hear, so let me go ahead and take some of this stuff out. That kind of loosens it up, and I should be able to grab it with my fingers now. All right. Getting close. Getting closer. Getting closer. All right, so it's down there ways. Oh, I think I saw some white. All right, I can see it. Why don't you guys take a peek? Right there, I think that's gonna be another bullet. What do you think? Oh, it's a baby one. That is a pistol bullet of some sort. It might be Confederate, actually. That Sharps bullet we found could be Confederate too. In fact, I suspect it is. I think this is a Confederate bullet. I think this is definitely a good solid Confederate. Let's hope it's dropped. Okay. Definitely fired. You can see where it hit the rocks. So let's just call it a fired bullet. It's weird how it was reading so high. There's a weird pollen stuff in the air out here today. I keep getting into like patches of it. Makes you cough like crazy. All right, let me go ahead. I'll check that hole, fill it in, and then we'll move over here and dig these targets up. Okay, this is the first one I heard. Right here, so it shouldn't be very deep. Did we already dig that? That's not the one we dug already, is it? Well, if it is, there's another one there. You pinpoint her out. Back. Oh, it's the wrong crack. Right, is that it? All right, we should be able to just dig in here and find it with our fingers. Don't need the pinpointer. See some white right here, so there we go. All right, yeah, definitely. All right, sweet. That is another Sharps bullet. Let's clean it off. See if this could be fire too. It could be that. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably, I can't tell if this dropped or fired. It's a little bit weird looking, so it could be fired. The thing is, if it had a rifled musket that has been shot a lot, the rifling gets really like worn away. So it almost becomes like a smooth bore. So when you jam a bullet down there and fire it, it doesn't expand at all. And or very little into the rifling grooves and land, so you can't really see the rifling cut into it at all. If it's like a worn out musket is basically what we would call it. All right, let's see. Yeah, something else right there. I hear beeping, but I don't know if it's yeah, that's probably another one of 60 something. But right in here. God, my knees. All right, so all right, here we're getting there. These are cut-proof gloves, by the way, so it's probably gonna be another bullet. All right, I'm going to turn it off because we know it's right in here. We should be able to see it anytime. There it is. I was real close to the other one. I think this is going to be a fired one too, or is fired. So this might be just like a shooting range, but if it is, yeah, it could be fired. It could be smushed. You can see it's on both sides, so it could just be a smushed bullet. If it's a firing range, it could have been firing to this rock or something, but if they were, it was from a long ways away. Because if they were just on that bank, it would look just like that little 22 bullet I showed you. It would be really mushed out. It could be as flat as a pancake. But another Civil War bullet, not gonna complain about that. I have another bullet signal right in here. I started digging it out. I think I'm getting real close. I'll set you up. Hopefully you can kind of see that okay. I just set you on the ground. All right, should be right in here. Crap, oh, I can see it. I'll get you out. You see it right down in there? You see the white and there's some rings on it, so we know it's a mini ball of some sort. Not rings actually, but the grooves. All right, let's go clean this one off. All right, clean it off. Let's see what we got here. Okay, it's a little bit mushed, but I'm gonna go with dropped on that one all day long. There's no evidence whatsoever of any rifling grooves cut. No evidence of it being, you know, the ramrod having pushed it down into the barrel. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a drop one on that one for sure. Most awesome. That's the area right there where I was digging the bullets. I just kind of wanted to work along the bank here, see how many signals there are. Not getting a lot, but I do have a nice squeaker right there. Trying to get above it. Just gotta drag some dirt. I don't see it yet. You. Ah, sneaky. He's quite a bit deeper than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be right on the surface. Oh boy, I tell you. Oh, it's a deep crack right there. There it is. I can see it coming up on the pick. Another bullet. Yeah, I think that's going to be another drop one. We'll give it a bath. Can't tell what's in the water there. We'll definitely get out there in a minute. See what we got. Yep, 100% dropped. Very awesome efforts. That looks like it's round right there, so I don't think it's going to be. It's either coin or a button. Oh, I know what that is. You guys know what that is? This is what we call a hem weight. This would be put in a hem and sewed into a hem to keep like flaps on your jacket down so they didn't like curl up. It's just a little weight to keep the fabric straight. That could be Colonial, or it could be a little post-Civil War, I think, but it's definitely a nice old piece. That's where I found the hem weight, popped down into the water, and found another one. So this could have been a whole jacket that was lost, or these could have just been weights that you took out for fishing or whatnot. But if it was a jacket, I expect we'll find at least a few buttons around. I think I had a squeak as I was putting my machine down right there. I might pick back a little bit. That's why I dug the hem weight right there. Yeah, that's probably just my pick. All right, just dug a blade to a spinner bait, like a MEPS. This is a fishing lure. You see the hole in the top there. This would have been attached to the rest of the lure with the hooks, and it spins around like that as it goes through the water and attracts fish. But that's all that is, just some kind of a modern fishing lure. Well, I just found a coin. I'm not even sure what it is. Looks like it might be a foreign one. Ah, Canadian. Brothers to the north. Yeah, kind of weird, isn't it? Not Civil War era, that's for sure. All right, so here's the deal. I worked my way along the edge of this cliff a little bit, not getting too many signals, but if you look here, the water's getting really deep, and there's some nice tall cliffs right here. So what we're gonna do, see how cloudy the water is too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this deeper water for another trip. This river right here should get very clear soon. We just had a rain a couple days ago. That's why it's kind of mucky. I'm gonna go ahead and wait until the water clears out. It should clear out, if it doesn't rain, within a couple days. And we'll come back and we'll work this deeper section right here together and get some underwater action. I actually have my mask with me today, but you know, it's not clear enough really to see, so we're not gonna bother with that. So let's go ahead and work our way back up in the shallow water. We'll see if we can find a few more things. And we'll save this for another day. Probably within the next week we'll come back. I think I have a bullet here. If you look, you can see a little bit of white there. So I'm assuming that's lead. Nope, it isn't. I bet that's it right there. See that little round thing? Is it a coin or a button? I believe that's another coin. Probably a weedy, I'd guess. Let's wash it off. Canadian penny, isn't that weird? Huh. So I made kind of an interesting discovery. I'm back in this area again where was finding the bullets, and you notice there's a really steep bank going up that way. You can see the water pours off from up in those fields up there down over here to right where I'm finding the bullets. And up where my metal detector is, like going up the hill, I just found a chunk of melted lead. Now, this is probably Civil War campfire lead where they were melting bullets. And there's no way, in my estimation, a soldier went down here along this creek making a fire up there where my metal detector is. So I'm starting to think that a lot of the stuff we're finding may be washing down off these cliffs. And so up on top, I'm not exactly sure what kind of fields up there this time of year, but that could be a big Civil War camp up there. I might just scamper up to a couple of these ledges. We'll just check them with a metal detector, because if there's a bullet, drop bullet or lead or something like that up in these cuts, we know that it's coming from up on top then. I really suspect that that's the case. All right, so I climbed up here a little ways, but I'm not going to go any higher because this stuff is really slick. And if I fall, I'm going to get completely lacerated and cut up by these rocks or this shale. I didn't hear any signals here or up there. I'm just not going to go higher today by myself because I could bleed out. If I tumble down this cliff face, hitting these sharp rocks, I could bleed out by the time I get back to my vehicle. And we're not going to take that chance. Discretion, my friend, is a better part of valor. Back down by the water, and I have a nice little signal here. And if you look closely, you can see something peeking out. You see it? Right there. That is another sharp. Very nice. Right down at the base of this slide too. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely have to find out what's going on up there. That's another day. That's where we dug that little sharps just a second ago and got another nice little same type of signal right in here. I don't see it though. Gotcha. Oh, something green, but I think it's a nail. I thought it was a worm. All right, so we have a brass nail, wood screw rather, that's bent. So this could be old, it might not be too old, but it's brass. Put it in the bag. Nice little signal down here. I'm going to put you under because my camera's really hot because it's a GoPro. And we'll let it cool down a little bit underwater. Hold your breath. And of course it's a modern egg sinker. Or at least the camera probably cooled down a little bit. These things have a terrible tendency to overheat. All right, just dug another sharps, looks dropped. The slide's way over there. I mean, it's possible this could have come down off the top too, but not 100% on this one. Very nice. I have a really cool find here. Just dug it from the crack right there up on the bank. Put it on here, wash it off. All right, I better sit down. Looky there. Those are two fired Civil War pistol bullets that are fused together. Either shot into the bank and fused together, shot into a tree and fused together, or collided in midair. Which, to be honest with you, I don't think ever happened. And I say that because, you know, if you fire, 1,000 bullets into a tree trunk, which is, what happened during the war, during the battles, a bullet will hit the tree, stick in it, another bullet will come here and hit the bullet that's stuck into the tree and kind of mold itself around it. And that could happen in mud, trees, people, whatever. And you have bullets that are fused together. I've been to sites, I've been on digs where I've seen dozens of bullets come out of the ground that were fused together. I mean, dozens of pairs and triples. And that's just from like firing ranges and battles and whatnot. So I'm not a big believer in the head-on collision of Civil War mini balls. Although you will read about that in some of the older relic books. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and head out of here for today. And we're going to wait until the water clears up a little bit more so we can get some underwater action. And we're going to come back and we're going to work our way down through here and dig a whole bunch of good stuff, hopefully. Let me show you what we found today. And I'm really excited about coming back. Basically, we have a bunch of Civil War bullets. A couple of them are fired. A bunch of them are dropped. We got the hem weights, which are pretty cool. And some Canadian pennies. Something else I wanted. Oh yeah, the two bullets that are stuck together, which are kind of interesting. We'll come back here in, if it doesn't rain, we'll come back in 2 or 3 days and we'll work this deep area and hopefully find a cannonball. When I was first here years ago, that's what I was looking for artillery shells, not paying a lot of attention to the small stuff like this. So it gives me some thoughts about needing to go back to the places where I was looking for artillery shells in the past. I'm not giving up that we're not going to find one down there. Now, this is also the area where I found that $50 that was 1816 when Jackson took a little trip, and it was in good shape. So I don't think it was lost during the Civil War. I think it was lost before that, either in the water or maybe it came out of that bank, just like the bullets. Hard to say. But I'm going to go ahead and pack it up and call it a day. And we'll get into something tomorrow, but not here. But we'll definitely be back here in a few days. We'll see you on the next one, I hope. It was a good day. Hard to complain with that.
She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the